Great, Shawn, great to see you.
Yeah, same, Ben.
Joined by Shawn Robertson, Chief Revenue Officer at 66 Degrees, one of the key catalysts of our significant growth here in the Agentic world. Shawn, we're at Google Cloud Next 2026. It's great to be here with you. Shawn, we were just named a Partner of the Year for Artificial Intelligence last evening. Could you tell me a little bit about what this award means to you and the business?
I think when you look at growth, Ben, you think in stages and you think of milestones. How have we matured? What have we done? And I remember a year ago, you and I sat down and we said, hey, we're going to lean in with Google and we want to be a flagship partner with Google. I think what we saw today is all that work of all the people in our company coming together, hyper-focused on customer outcomes and customer success has also created success with Google. And I remember where I was hoping Google would give me more. Now I feel like Google's also hoping that we're giving them more. It's an absolute symbiotic relationship we have with them. And so to me, getting to the acknowledgement from my partner that out of all the partners you could work with, if it comes to AI, these people have figured it out. I'm super proud. Not for me, but I'm super proud of us as a company that we figured out how to do that with one of the greatest companies in the planet is acknowledging us, and that feels good.
Shawn, I couldn't agree more. Look, I think a couple of things resonate with me as you're talking about. I think it's really important as you're trekking up the mountain, of serving customers, of serving your employees, of building a business, is you have to take times to celebrate, right? And this award, I think, is a time for us to celebrate the partnership, but as importantly, and maybe even more importantly, celebrate our people. Yes. Is that we've been able to point our people in the direction of, hey, a true north of helping transform companies and their AI transformation journey, partnering with Google to do that. But what this allows us to do is to say, hey, we're not there yet. We're not at the mountain, but let's celebrate. And most importantly, let's celebrate the people that we're doing this with.
100%.
The next two areas I want to go, and I love that you went there. The first is the partnership. The second is the value that customers are seeing from AI. And so let me stop first at the partnership. You've worked for many years in SAP, and in field roles, but also supporting the partner network. Could you tell me a little bit about you've been at 66 for about a year at this point. What have you learned about the Google Partner Network, being a Google partner, especially from your lens coming from SAP, which I think is a really valuable lens? And what have you seen, how have you seen the ecosystem and partner ecosystem evolve over that time?
Interesting question. I think the evolution is it's become more specialized, and I feel that there's a less reliance on giant partners. I felt when at SAP, we were very, very focused on giant partners, and then there was a different segment of the business that was almost farmed out to the partners. I don't feel that. The kind of deals we're being brought into, it's some of the best, brightest, most successful companies in the world. And I don't know I would have saw that before. We didn't bring a lot of smaller companies in. But I think Google's different. And side note, I've actually compared, if you said who's going to win the long game, I think it's Google. But I think it's Google because they are technologists at their heart. They're not a salesperson who decided to sell tech. They're a tech person who decided to figure out how to sell it. Yep. And I think that love for technology and creating cutting edge things that and products and services that people have never seen before that really move things forward, I think that has allowed, because of how specialized and how cutting edge the products are, companies like us who have figured AI out and we're on the bleeding edge of the art of possible. I think companies like us can be brought into these mega companies because our thought leadership is going to be better even than a larger company because of what we're seeing and the kind of things we're being brought into, which are the edgiest, kind of the riskiest kind of business transactions, which I love because we get to invent what's tomorrow. Yep. And in most situations you don't do that. I certainly didn't feel we got to do that in a previous life.
This is really helpful. What this brings to my mind is Malcolm Gladwell has a theory of strong link teams and weak link teams, and he would give an example of NBA teams as strong link teams. Is that why were the Golden State Warriors really successful? It's because of Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. Why were the Chicago Bulls very successful? It's because of Michael Jordan. Whereas soccer at times is a weak link team, is that your weakest link, they'll oftentimes find a chink in the armor and shoot a goal and score a goal. I'm convinced that right now in the world of AI technology for the hyperscaler, Google, but also for the partner, it's a strong link game. And in particular is, as I look at Google, why is Google winning the war right now? It's because they've really got, to your point, they've got great technologists and they've got great technology. And as I look at, we're helping drive forward with Google, and also why is Google pulling us into opportunities, or why are customers pulling us into opportunities? It's because of strong link mentality. It's because hey, you've got great technologists and you've got great problem solvers and you've got great pattern recognition, 66 degrees, that can help us, Google, and help us customer deploy AI or data technology and solve this problem.
Well, that word customer, I think, is the actual link. If I look at what is our go-to-market ethos, it's customer. Customer, customer, customer. I feel it's the same with Google. So when you get two people and their North Star is the customer, I learned early in my career, if values are set, decisions are easy. And I think because both of our values are what's best for the client and what's the best outcome for the client, then it's easy to do business with another company that has that same ethos.
I couldn't agree more. What is your North Star? And it's a customer. So let's talk about customers a little bit. In the age of AI and transformation last year was the year of the agent, and Google introducing agents and Google introducing Gemini Enterprise. I believe for the most part where we saw agents driving value for customers, and look, I think if it's not tied to value, a technology is going to come and go, but where that value was coming from was saving cost in some capacity. Growing a business and needing fewer employees as you're growing that business, growing with the same, and getting a 3x or a 4x or a 10x out of your employee base because of agents. I think that shifted a little bit at this point. You and I were talking, and I think it shifted to the other really critical part of the P&L, and that's revenue generation.
Yes.
What are you seeing with customers right now?
I think it's the same. I think, which makes a lot of sense, right? Managing your bottom line, getting efficient with new technology, that's a story that's been told for 30 years.
Yes.
I think what this has done is different. In fact, we got to see someone we're doing work with that was highlighted in today's talk, and their actual answer to what we did to help them, it wasn't efficiency, it wasn't bottom line. They had a record sales year and a record sales quarter. And so when you can start using AI to drive top line growth, not just the bottom line, because you already know we can do bottom line. So now what you're doing is you're expanding the company. You're growing faster than you could before. You're saving more than you could before. You're creating value for investors and your employees, and which I think ties right back to where we started, which is the employee. AI shouldn't get rid of people. What it should do is enable people. And I think what we're seeing with the top line and bottom line growth is you're going to have expansion. It's one thing to save money. It's another thing to not have to, but be able to. And I think by driving that top line, we're going to see different use cases. We're going to be, like we were talking about before, more edgy kind of top line growth scenarios, which to me is what the exciting part. As a go-to-market person, I had a boss one time. I was like, look, I'm not the right guy to count toner cartridge expense, but I am the right person to drive forward growth. We're now able to ring the bell on that archetype, that person that's really wanting to grow the company fast. I think now we can help everyone in the company.
And look, having grown this business with you for the past year, it's so much more exciting to be able to ring the bell and drive growth. And frankly, to be able to have our customers do that as well and win by virtue of seeing them win, as I think there's frankly nothing better. So Shawn, thanks for your time today.
My pleasure.
It's an absolute blast growing this business with you, and let's go get him over the year ahead.
You bet.
Thanks, Shawn.
Yeah.